That should be good. Let me know if y'all can hear me all right. Let me know if the music's too loud. Let me know what I gotta do. Let me know what I gotta do to make this a better experience for everyone. But what up, everybody? Solo Knox live stream, giving y'all some updates. Letting y'all know what's in the works. Letting y'all know what's on the docket for Project Manga. You can hear me? What's up, Outback Panda? Sound great? Awesome. Well, everyone, we're here for YouTube and Patreon updates and a Q&A if you guys have any questions. First and foremost, though, shout out Michael Kenos, $5 super chat. It's not much, but for the people I follow, I'll send some love that way. We love you too, and trust me, it's more than enough. It is more than enough. Any amount of support that y'all give us is enough. Don't ever think it's not much. Just watching the show is all the support that we really need. All right, I sound good. Great. Thanks everybody for joining us for the live session for this. Obviously the VOD will stay on YouTube for anyone who shows up later and wants the info, but we got some pretty big updates. Pretty big updates. What up, Jacob? Where do I start? Okay. So, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is where we start, because that's super important. Chainsaw Man is coming back July 13th this month, in like a week or less, something like that. I don't know what day it is. The days are kind of running together. But Chainsaw Man is back. We're really excited about that, and absolutely, yes, we are going to cover it. We are going to talk about it on a weekly basis. Chainsaw Man is not going to be in Weekly Shonen Jump, though. And as I'm sure most or all of you know, Chainsaw Man is going to be a Jump Plus title. That doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about it, though. But since it's not coming out in the original magazine that it was published in, since it's not going through Weekly Shonen Jump and it's actually going through Jump Plus, and it's not going to be updating on Sundays along with the rest of everything that we cover on YouTube, it just doesn't make sense for us to review Chainsaw Man on the YouTube show. So what does that mean? Where do you find us talking about Chainsaw Man on a weekly basis? On Patreon. And it pains us to say that because Chainsaw Man on our YouTube show was really, a lot of the reason why we kind of picked up as quickly as we did when we started our show back when Kiko and Nickums, we're on the show regularly as full-time hosts and whatnot. A lot of our Chainsaw Man coverage is the reason why a lot of people even know who we are. You know what I mean? So it sucks that it's going to have to go on Patreon. And a lot of people, can't really justify the Patreon because it's been at $15 a month for so long for that special grade coverage. And we'll talk about I'll be super transparent with you guys about what Patreon means to the brand and why it's important and why we can't thank everybody who's subscribed to that tier enough for being subscribed to it. But one good piece of information that we have in regard to the Patreon is that instead of $15 a month for the special grade podcast, we have now dropped that down to $10 a month to help with that barrier of entry, to help with that paywall. Of course, we'd like to just talk about all the manga that we review on a weekly or monthly basis for free everywhere at all times, but we just don't have the time to make that make sense, to put in that much effort and to put in that much time to creating all of those lines of content and just having them public. But between the YouTube show and the live reactions and whatnot, and the one shots that we do periodically along with the tangential tie-ins episodes, we hope that is enough free content for you guys. That is we try our hardest to get the free content out for you just as much as the paid content. But it does get to a point where our equipment needs to remain up to date, and we need to a lot of that Patreon money literally all goes to back into the brand. You know what I mean? None of it really goes to us at all. But we keep that, for commissions if we need them, so that everything can look pretty. And we use that to pay for editing, equipment subscriptions and graphic design, subscriptions like Photoshop and, Adobe and whatnot to keep the content coming out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you know, that that support goes to, as far as like going back into the brand and going back into the project and making sure that everything is as high quality as possible. So yeah, but we're excited that we're going to be dropping that price down from $15 to $10 a month, and then adding the Chainsaw Man coverage to the special grade show, because I know that there were a lot of people that, you know, would tell us that 15 was just a little bit too steep. You know what I mean? That had been waiting for that to come down to, you know, an amount that makes sense. So we're really excited. That's already been updated. If you go to the Project Manga Patreon right now, you'll see that everything has been entirely revamped, you know, to accommodate what we're going to be doing. So special grade podcast is now $10 a month instead of 15. And hold on, there was one more other thing. Oh yeah, and then we're still going to have a $15 tier outside of that. So if you go to the Patreon right now, you'll see that we have the Genin tier, which is obviously the official patron slot. That's $1 a month. That gets you all of the Twitch VODs for live reactions that me or Eagle do, you know, anytime. You know what I mean? So that all goes there. The $3 tier is the early access tier. That had a lot more value back when like one-shots and tangential tie-ins were like very regular lines of content over here. And we will, you know, do our best to get back to a point where, you know, those lines of content can be like as consistent as they once were, or close to it. But as of right now, the only real value that the early access tier really gets you is that you get, you know, the weekly Shonen Jump reviews a day early. You know what I mean? And then whenever we do, you know, a one shot, you know, or something like that, that VOD will also hit, you know, the early access tier for 3 days before, you know, it goes to YouTube. So there's still a little bit of value there, but definitely not as big of a value as back when all of our content was online and bussin' weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, back when like COVID was like really, you know, really going crazy and we all were just stuck inside, you know what I mean? So hopefully we can get back to that level one day. I was gonna say soon, but I'm just gonna say one day. And then also inside of the $3 tier, you get all of the old book club reviews that we did back when the book club was a thing. So I think we did like 9 to 12 book club reviews. So you can get the volume 1 thoughts for, you know, quite a few series inside of the early access tier if you wanted to sign up just for that. But then the special grade tier, $10 a month. You get the special grade podcast. The current roster is the Elusive Samurai, Ranger Reject, Shangri-La Frontier, Kaiju number 8, Don Dodon, and Undead Unluck. And then obviously when Chainsaw Man comes back out, that will be added to that roster. And then coincidentally, you know, we were wondering like, what are we going to do? Because we can't just keep adding series to either of these shows. 6 is a pretty good limit, you know what I mean, that we have for, you know, for both of our shows. We got 6 shows over, or we have 6 manga over on Patreon that we review weekly, and we have 6 manga, you know, over on YouTube that we review weekly. And we can't just keep adding more, you know what I mean? We just don't have the time. It just doesn't make enough sense yet for us to, you know, just review everything with no limits, you know what I mean? But coincidentally, Shangri-La Frontier is on something of a hiatus right now. There's a lot more details in regard to that as far as why Shangri-La Frontier isn't coming out weekly, you know, for us over here. But it will be back eventually. But it might not be until like fall before we start seeing chapters for Shangri-La Frontier again. So we don't have to worry about dropping coverage of anything on the show or moving, you know, a certain series over to the YouTube show to make room for Chainsaw Man. Shangri-La Frontier is not being updated currently. So at least for a while, we'll be able to just review, you know, Chainsaw Man along with everything else without the schedule being too weird in that way. And then when Shangri-La Frontier comes back, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, you know what I mean? But and then over on the YouTube side of things, we've been thinking about like what we're going to add to the roster as far as like weekly Shonen Jump manga coverage, because we were reviewing Ayashimon before it got axed, and then we were going to like, you know, reach out to you guys. We've been asking, how do you feel about Akane Banashi? We've been asking, how do you feel about P6? I was gonna ask how y'all felt about Super Smartphone, but I think after talking with the guys, we came to the conclusion that we're just going to add Aliens Area to the YouTube show. You know what I mean? And yes, P6 and Akane Banashi are great, and we could talk about them for sure, but our bag is in like action series, you know what I mean? And when the situation was how it was when Ayashimon was first axed, there wasn't really anything else in the magazine that we weren't already covering that like really, you know, reached out and spoke to us in a way where it's like, that's the manga that we're adding next, you know what I mean? So originally we wanted to put it to a poll and, you know, let us know like P6, Akane Banashi, Super Smartphone, you know, something else or whatever, and just leave it up to you guys. But that was when we didn't really care which one it was. Now Aliens Area is out and it's this high octane sci-fi action series that we're all just loving so much. And at the end of the day, we're going to choose the one that makes the most sense for our style of coverage and that we're just liking the most. You know what I mean? When we added Dr. Stone, it was just so obvious and so quick, like we're putting Dr. Stone on the show. Same with Mashal, you know what I mean? But this time we definitely did want to give you guys more of a voice and help us figure that out. And then Aliens Area came out and now we're like, no, that's the one that we're going to do. So sorry for everybody that had their fingers crossed for P6 and Akane Banashi, you know what I mean? And we're maybe even Super Smartphone or something like that. Who knows what the future holds, you know what I mean? Aliens Area could get axed. And if it does get axed, we're going to be right back here, you know, considering P6, Akane, and Super Smartphone or whatever else is in the magazine at the time. So we're going with Aliens Area. We hope you guys enjoy that if there's any Aliens Area fans out there, but it's very promising. We're all enjoying it a lot. It feels very safe. Obviously, none of us really like follow the numbers and whatnot like that, but just based on like the narrative so far and just what the content has given us, we feel really good about Aliens Area and we can't wait to start reviewing that. That will be in the next episode. We will have Aliens Area on the roster. So yeah. Yeah, I kind of like, there's no like script. I don't have anything like written down. I'm just going entirely off the top. So if I'm like all over the place, like if I start a thought and don't finish it and it's replaced by another thought, just let me know. Like, hey, what about that one point you were going to make? Go back to that. But that's really kind of like what we're on right now. Oh yeah, see, look at me. I'm remembering a train of thought that I didn't finish earlier. So the new $15 tier, right? So we have the $10 tier with the special grade podcast in it and whatnot. The new $15 tier is the Will of D tier, and that's going to include all of the previous perks, obviously. But then it's also going to have a, I'll just read it. Not only will you have all of the previous perks, but you'll also be entered into a raffle each month for a free manga volume giveaway. The eligible winners will be anyone subscribed at this level, and there will be a special channel in the Discord server for us to come together and decide which manga will be up for grabs each month. So this makes the most sense once there's like, you know, 3, 4, 5 people in the tier or whatever, and then whoever is subscribed to the Will of D tier will be eligible once per month for a free manga volume giveaway. And we'll obviously come together and decide as a group what makes the most sense to be given away every month before that raffle is actually held. So join the Patreon if you're interested in something like that. But like the reason why we kept a $15 tier is because as much as we want to lower that barrier of entry to the special grade show for everybody who is fans of Chainsaw Man or anyone who is just waiting for that price to drop, that $15 a month has really been just keeping the lights on for Project Manga's content at this point. So we're trying to find a way to justify keeping people inside of that commitment each month so that we can continue to afford our, you know, graphic design and video editing subscriptions, high-speed internet, microphones up to date, computers and other software and hardware things up to date. That's really what that money is for, and I just want to be super transparent with you guys about why it's important. So just let us know how you want to fuck with us. Obviously all of this shit is optional at the end of the day, and we would never want to be like, you better give us what we, you know, like we're not gonna be like that. So like, you know what I mean? Like if you were a $15 patron and now you're, you know, switching to the $10, you know, tier just to save yourself $5, like that's totally fine. That is 100% what you are allowed and expected to do, if that makes sense, you know, to you, obviously. You know what I mean? All of this shit is optional on Patreon at the end of the day, but it does help in a major way for the overall quality of the content that we produce. So okay, let me go through. I've said a lot of words. I'm going to go read the chat now. All right, y'all can hear me. Sound good. Excited about Chainsaw Man. Just a few days away. What are we going to do about Hunter x Hunter? We don't have a date on that yet. Hunter x Hunter is something that we're obviously very excited to come back to, and we absolutely want to talk about it. But considering the history of Togashi's, you know, chapter release schedule, or whatever you want to call it, there's a good chance that he'll just drop a volume and go back on hiatus again. So I mean, like, we wouldn't want to add that as like a weekly coverage thing, just because we don't know how consistent that's going to be. If he just drops a volume and then goes back on hiatus, we'll do a special stream for the volume, like a one shot or something, and we're still going to talk about it. But I don't know about adding Hunter x Hunter to the YouTube show for like a weekly coverage thing. That just seems like so sketch to me. And like, we want to get Aliens area, or if that gets axed, like, we want to get like something that we know is going to be weekly consistent and doesn't have the Togashi schedule tied to it. So like, that just makes the most sense for right now, is to just see what Togashi does and then react accordingly. What time are you going to start working on that new thumbnail for next week's returning star? Wait, what? Oh, for One Piece? Wait, does One Piece come back next week? What do you mean by that, Yato? My bad. Cries for book club. I'm sorry, Kip. Oh my god, we like stopped doing the book club like right when you joined it. I'm so sorry. I would just catch up on Shangri-La Frontier. It's on Limbo. Yeah. Definitely recommend catching up on SLF. Absolutely. We're in a crazy fucking point right now in that story. Oh my god. A chance to upgrade my library once a month for free. I'm down. Yeah, it's tight. It's tight. And we hope that that's like, worth it to people, because that could be like a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Like, if we had like 6, 7, 8 to 10 people in the Will of D tier, and we're constantly like talking about like what books to do for the giveaway, and we did like, public, raffles or whatever, just so like more eyes can see like what we're doing inside of that area of the community, like that could be like a really fun thing. And I like hope that takes off. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's just like so, I don't know, man. It's like, get your manga collection up. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to do that. That's the best way that we could help with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the quid pro quo that we kind of, came up with and whatnot. So we hope you guys fuck with that. What up, V? Good to see ya. Good to see you, buddy. I'm glad the Hunter x Hunter thing makes sense. Mr. Masonics, damn, look at this sexy motherfucker. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize. I mean, I look like a fucking caveman werewolf hybrid right now. I need a fucking haircut. Look at this. Whew. Look at all this up here. I guess with this lighting and this camera angle, I don't look too crazy. But like, my side profile is insane. My side profile is nuts right now. Oh, good. I need more physical manga. Absolutely, Jody. And we are going to try our best to help with that in a you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of way. Chainsaw Man got to get added to the thumbnail. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I actually like have that open in Photoshop right now. I was going to see, see if the first chapter comes out and gives any like really good drawings of Denji that we can use for, the thumbnail. I want a season 2, I want a part 2 Denji on the special grade thumbnail, I think. But part 1 gave us a lot of gold. And Fujimoto, like leans into like stark white backgrounds a lot, so it's really easy to cut out, character renders from Chainsaw Man or, thumbnails or whatever. You know what I mean? But yes. Just caught up with volume 16 of Radiant, and the final cliffhanger went crazy. Campo, please don't spoil me. I am behind on Radiant like crazy. I think the last chapter I read was like 95 or something. I haven't even read like past chapter 100, so keep me safe. Do not, please do not spoil me on Radiant. An indolent person. I think he's talking about Chainsaw Man. Oh. Yeah, I was talking about Chainsaw Man. I don't even know who you're talking to, right? I don't know if you're talking about me or not, but yeah, man. I mean, like, that's really kind of like it. Oh yeah, okay. Oh my god, okay. So my Kengan Omega stream, completely forgot what day it was. Like, I was literally like in Cord with like some friends, like playing video games the whole day. Completely forgot it was Wednesday somehow, and just didn't do the stream, didn't make any kind of like announcement or update for it. And like, I felt kind of like shitty anyway, so I guess like it's fine. But like, I think Kip like messaged me and was like, yo, I'm gonna miss the stream tonight. And I was like, I don't even think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, like it was already like so like late in the day, and I had completely forgotten that it was Wednesday, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't know if I have it in me for that, but hopefully I can just double up on that next week. You know what I mean? Like this upcoming Wednesday. Any Kengan Omega fans that follow my live reactions for that on Twitch, sorry that I missed last Wednesday, but I will try to make up for that in some kind of way. If I don't double up, you know, this upcoming Wednesday for the next stream, like maybe I'll do like a drug stream or something like that. Take a shot whenever somebody gets rocked in their jaw or some shit. I don't know. You guys will help me out with that like you usually do. But yeah. Now that I think about it, V is kind of like one of those people that you need in your life, like your barber. If Ranger Reject disappeared, I don't know what I'd do. Fuck yeah, I felt the fuck out of that. V, you're a champion. I love you so much, bro. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you for your service. I never say that to, like, army people, but I'll say it to manga translators. What else? Oh yeah, so the next break that Weekly Shonen Jump is going to take, I think, is for issues like 33 and 34, somewhere around there. So you know what that means? It's going to be a tie-in episode or one shot. I don't know how I want to do it. Last time I was like, do you want us to do a tie-in episode? Here's the subject. Or do you want us to do a one shot? Here's the subject. I think the options were Smoke Demons Part 2 on tangential tie-ins, or the Goodbye Airy one shot. And you guys chose the Goodbye Airy one shot. How should I do it this time? Should I put a potential one shot up against Smoke Demons Part 2 tangential tie-in episode again? Or should I say we did a one shot last time, now we're going to do a poll for which tangential tie-in subject to talk about and have it between one or another? How should I do that? Let me know, you know what I mean? Like, let us know, like, in the comments or right now, you know, like, if you're watching the VOD later, let us know in the comments, like, should the next time that Weekly Shonen Jump goes on break, should it be an either or tangential tie-ins or one shot? Or should we just say, screw one shots, we did that last time, and do an either or tangential tie-ins topic for the poll? Let me know. Let me know. V, this week was hell, dude. Literally the hardest week of scanlation ever. Oh my god, that sounds so crazy coming from you. Oh my god, I'm so happy you survived that. Yeah, I don't think it's a miss either way for sure, but we definitely want to yeah, either way it's going to be a banger conversation, like whether we do a tie-in episode or whether we do a one-shot episode. It'll be great no matter what, but I don't know, just let us know. You know, we want to do what you guys want us to do as often as possible. I feel like I can't see the oh, here we go. I've been following y'all for maybe half a year, and to be honest, I still don't even know what the difference is between the two, a tie-in and a one-shot. So tangential tie-ins was the second show that we ever did, right? We started out with me, Kiko, and Eagle doing the Weekly Shonen Jump reviews once a week, and then we were like, fuck it, let's do some shit for people who aren't like hardcore manga nerds. Let's just get something for the anime cats, you know what I'm saying? So we started the tangential tie-ins line of content for just like general anime and manga discussion topics that, you know, are like non-spoilery and like just for people who, you know, just can reach a wider audience, you know what I mean, if need be, like eternal episodes that don't really you know, rely on like weekly on the pulse manga updates, you know what I mean? It's just like if you go through our YouTube channel and you go to the tangential tie-ins playlist, you'll see all of the subjects there, you know. Best origins in anime, best weapons in anime, anime's best couples, best mentors in anime, assembling anime Avengers teams, the best fighting styles in anime, best swordsmen, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Like, those don't really require anyone to be, you know, really hardcore, up-to-date manga nerds. So we wanted a line of content for those kind of discussions because we were constantly referencing all of these anime in our Weekly Shonen Jump reviews anyway. And so, like, we would tangent off into these, you know, entirely different, conversations not really, you know, like related to the manga that we were reviewing at hand. So we were like, fuck it, we're just gonna make a whole new line of content for these kind of conversations. So that's what tangential tie-ins is. And then the one-shots, you know, is when we like focus in on a specific manga series and, you know, choose a subject for it and talk about it. You know, like on the main show for Weekly Shonen Jump reviews, we're reviewing 6 manga a week. But for one-shots, it's just one series that we're focusing on and whatever subject that we come up with for that. And that's really the difference. That's really the difference between the two. What up, Ashes? Could do another Fujimoto one-shot, LOL, since he just dropped another one. He did, and it was good. I fucking love that shit. I already forgot the title of it or whatever. It's like, just read the book or something, or just watch the show. I can't remember what it is. But I think I read that in chord with you, Yato. I think I live reacted to you for that one. That was good. I'd be down to talk about that. But I don't know. I'll probably ask on Twitter too. You know what I mean? Just to be safe. Like, hey, you want a one-shot? You want a tie-in? Should we do the poll like for tie-in versus one-shot, or should we do the poll for like 2 tie-in topics? We'll figure it out. We got a couple weeks left. We got a couple weeks before we really got to make that decision. But all right, just to reiterate the updates in a more, you know, succinct, you know, not as all over the place kind of explanation. Chainsaw Man is going to the Special Grade podcast. We are going to be reviewing that once a week over on that show. The Special Grade tier of support has been dropped from $15 a month down to $10 a month. So that, you know, the people who really want to see our Chainsaw Man coverage don't have this giant $15 wall to go through. And for anybody that, you know, was waiting for the Special Grade price to drop for one reason or another before they signed up, now you have that much more reason to fuck with us in that way. YouTube show. We're adding Aliens Area to our YouTube coverage. We were going to do a poll between all of the, you know, most popular, you know, newer series in Weekly Shonen Jump, but then Aliens Area came out and that one just spoke to us more, and now we're just going to do that. And the reason why is because we wanted to do the poll back when it didn't really matter to us which one was chosen. But now Aliens Area is here, and we like that one the most, so we're going to do that one. Now that the $15 tier is gone over on Patreon, for a Special Grade anyway, we've added a new $15 tier that will enter you in the running for a free manga volume every month, along with everybody else that's subscribed to that tier of support. So there we go. Smartphone's better than Aliens Area? I haven't read Smartphone yet, I don't know. But Mello did. Mello read all of them, and he was fucking with Aliens Area more. Smartphone was the only one that I hadn't read yet before we made this decision. If Smartphone's good, great. If Aliens Area gets axed, then we could move into Super Smartphone or something if that's what the streets want. But Billy Bat Rabbit Hole 3-hour discussion. Holy shit. But yeah, that's all the updates, y'all. Let me know how y'all feel about that. If y'all have any questions about anything that I've said so far, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. I know that I'd be like all over the place when I'd be like talking like off the cuff, like off the top of my head. So if anything got lost in the sauce or whatever, just ask me. But other than that, that's really all that I got for y'all. If you have any like other questions or whatever, we can do a Q&A. Just let me know. I'll kick it with y'all for a little bit. I think now with the anime trailer, the Shangri-La Frontier one-shot sounds more better. I agree. If we did, if we did put it up to, you know, tie-in versus one-shot on a poll, the one-shot topic would probably be Shangri-La Frontier. Be super down for that. He says read Drive. What's Drive? Goku Raku guy. That looks interesting. That looks super interesting. Saw somebody talking about that. I think it was Yato telling me about that actually the other day. Stage S has official translations now too. Stage S looks very promising. See, like in a perfect world, I was talking with Yato and a couple of the special grade people about this. Like in a perfect world, there's enough gas out there between Weekly Shonen Jump, Jump Plus, and Weekly Shonen Magazine. There's enough weekly gas out that like in a perfect world, like we would want to do like a Weekly Shonen Jump show. A Jump Plus specific show and a Weekly Shonen Magazine specific show. If there's ever a point in the future where Project Manga is super bussin' and it blows up and we can like do this full time or something really cool like that and literally just like this is our job type shit, that would definitely be like first order of business, is make all of these shows public, figure out something else for Patreon exclusive content, and literally have a Weekly Shonen Jump show, a Jump Plus show, and a Weekly Shonen Magazine show. Like, Weekly Shonen Magazine is going crazy right now. Eden Zero, Shangri-La Frontier, Ranger Reject, Gachi Akuda? You know, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, like, all of that shit is gas over there. Jump Plus. All types of gas. Stage S, Kajiki Chef, Chainsaw Man, Kaiju number 8. Like, there's enough great manga everywhere for us to have like a specific show for each magazine. That would be so tight. Oh. Huge improvement over the one-shot version too. Looks like wait. What is Drive? Someone give me like a Drive. Someone give me like a Drive synopsis. Oh, can't see the Patreon page? I think that's just because like I went live through Streamlabs and maybe like Streamlabs like has the link fucked up or something like that. Let me pull up the actual like stream real quick. Let me make sure the shit is muted so we don't get double audio going right now. Ah, yes, I caught it. So if you go into the description of this YouTube video right now and you hit the Patreon link, oh yeah, see, damn, that's gotta be like a because of Streamlabs thing. Like that link is fine. Like I'm literally looking at it right now and like the hyperlink is perfect from start to finish, but something got fucked up in the code. Let me update that real quick. I think this happened last time too. Let me update it. Okay, so Patreon link updated. Is the Twitch link like does the Twitch link work? I'm gonna update that too. And then our Discord too, like alright. Let me know if that's better. Let me know if that shit works now. Let me know. Yeah, sorry about that, you guys. But yeah, the link in the description should work now. If not, let me know. But all right, V. Ballerina loses her leg and returns to dancing with a prosthetic? I'm already invested. Oh my god, I need her to succeed so bad now. Ballerina loses her leg and returns to dancing with a prosthetic. See, with a title like Drive, I was thinking this was some like, you know what I'm saying, some Initial D shit. I thought this was some Yawamushi pedal type beat. But a ballerina manga? That sounds fucking amazing. Yeah, Stage S though. Stage S is real good. I read that first chapter and I was like, yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back when we got these officials. That shit looks really special. It definitely feels like Chainsaw Man Jr., but like that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited to see like any new, you know, works that come out that are inspired by Fujimoto works. And like this one clearly is. I noticed that you guys already have Special Grade Podcast on YouTube. Yeah, sometimes we upload the episodes to YouTube so that the public can see what those conversations are like and maybe go sign up on Patreon. But like we've done like 70 Special Grade episodes at this point, and I think maybe 5 of them are made public on YouTube. And we do that for like one reason or another. Like, oh, it's been like 10 episodes since we made one public. And then I'll like hit up the Special Grade, you know, patrons and be like, you guys cool if I make this one public? See if we can get some more eyes on this. And they're always like, yeah, dude, go ahead, fuck yeah. So it's just a great community, man. Like everybody just like is so awesome. Like we all just work together so well. And everyone is so supportive, and we appreciate the shit out of that to the highest extent possible. Like you guys have no idea. Come join the club. And if you are gonna sign up for our Patreon, make sure you join our Discord if you're not a member already, and then link those accounts together so that you can see the hidden areas of the Discord server, where we can, you know, chat throughout the week in a more intimate setting, as we like to say. But yeah, Drive sounds good. Drive sounds real good. How many chapters we got for Drive? V, we try to get the big meaty ones / really interesting episodes up and out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let them know. Let them know. Hayes, Special Grade's amazing, y'all. Thank you. Let them know. Talk. Let them know. Oh, it's just a 50-page. Oh, it's just a 50-page one-shot. That's all Drive is. Okay. Is it just always going to be a one-shot? Like, is it like a one-and-done thing? That's all they wanted to do? Like a look back, or like a Goodbye Eri, or a Kintoki? If anybody ever saw or read the Akira Toriyama one-shot, Kintoki, that shit is so good. Like, I remember reading that and being like, oh my god, this should have been serialized regularly. This is such a cool idea and premise. And it was just a one-shot. But I love that one. But yeah, is it just a one-shot, or does it want to be serialized? Do we know anything about like the potential for future serialization? Let me know. That's definitely getting read. I'll fucking read that in Discord with y'all. I'll fucking live react to that shit. Yep. Looks like it was written as a one and done thing. Tells a complete story. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll hop in the Discord sometime in our little area and live react to that with UV. That'll be tight. That'll be great. It's 8 o'clock. All right. I'm thinking maybe like 5 to 10 more minutes max before I have to stop this stream and get ready for the Special Grade review that we have tonight. But yeah, any other questions that y'all got? Like I want to answer like whatever you guys have, you know, like what are you curious about? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Let me know while we're here. I'm still seething that Jump didn't serialize Heat, a one-shot about a Shrine Temple kid who plays ice hockey. Dude, the Japanese have such good storytelling ideas. Like these premises are just so cool. Need to find like 500 people and make them subs so we can get a weekly shonen magazine and a Jump Plus show. I hear you on that. Shout it from the rooftops. Run, tell your people. Tell everybody what we're doing over here and why it makes sense and why it's worth it and why it's a good idea. Yes. Have you ever read Jackals? I finished it recently. I felt like you might love it. Boba Fettuccine, I have not heard anything about Jackals. This is the first time. It's the first time that I'm hearing about it. Pitch me. Throw it at me. Hit me with the synopsis. Sell it. Sell it to me. Non-spoiler, obviously. But let me know. Let me know why Jackals is good. B, if you do a Weekly Shonen Magazine show, bring me in, coach. You already know. Dude, you can hop on Special Grade like whenever. I don't think you read everything that we cover on Special Grade, but you know, if you ever decided to get caught up in everything that we review, V, you are more than welcome to come kick it with us on an episode or many, whatever you want to do. Tell us more about that manga you were tweeting about, Itsuwari or whatever. Itsuwari Bito is fucking incredible. It's a shisty, underhanded, backdoor ass nigga manga. It's basically like niggas ain't shit, the manga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tight because it speaks to me, because I'm like really into, you know, sleight of hand, you know, never let them know your next move, you know, withhold information until you absolutely, you know, have to deliver it, you know, like kind of situation. Like, you know, Hunter and you know, is something that like really established that as something I need in action fiction, you know, like specifically like shonen, you know, or, you know, like things with superpowers and whatnot, like where everybody's got their own special skill, but like they don't want anyone to know what it is because it's a danger to them. Like, if you know how my ability works, then you can counter it. So I'm going to withhold that information from you as long as I can, and potentially hope to beat you or kill you before you find out how to counter me. So like liars and schemers and just shiesty ass motherfuckers speak to me in that way, like on some ninja shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all ninja shit is what it comes down to, you know. And Itsuwari Bito is a series that takes that concept and makes it the whole world, right? So the job in Itsuwari Bito, just like Naruto has ninjas, One Piece has pirates, Bleach has Shinigami, the job in Itsuwari Bito is liar. Everyone's trying to be the best ain't shit nigga on the planet. So if that, I don't want to say too much, obviously. Like, if you, like, I actually just made like a little mini thread on Twitter telling people to read Itsuwari Bito. I'll actually just grab that link and put it in here, because I feel like if I start talking about it, I'm going to spoil like way too much about it. So, but I am loving that shit right now. God, it's so fucking good. I'm like 4 volumes in, and every chapter you're just like, that was incredible. I need another one. I need another one. I need another one. I read that shit until like fucking 7 in the morning when I started it. But copy link to tweets. Go in here. Paste. Boom. There's my little thread on Itsuwari Bito, if you guys want to see what I had to say about that. Anime Summit, what up, Sam? Good to see you, sis. How do we request for you or Eagle or Mello to live read a manga that we suggest, like on Twitch or whatever? Twitter and Discord. I mean, like regularly, like, you know, originally when we started doing the live manga readings, you know, I think I went out to Twitter and I was like, hey, you guys, like, what do you want to see me live react to? And then like the top 4 answers I put to a poll and was like, which one do you want to see me read? And then I think everybody chose Ajin or Golden Kamui, I think was the first one that I did. So I did volume 1 of Golden Kamui, and then I just systematically went down the rest of the list and did, you know, the volume 1s for each of them back-to-back weeks. And then after I did the first volume for all 4 on the poll, I basically chose which one I was feeling the most, and then continued reading that until I finished it. And then ever since then, I've kind of been just choosing which ones to do. But like, if people come together and they say, yo, we need you to live react to this, it's like, you know, if there's enough of a demand for it, I'll just do what you guys say instead of just choosing the next book to read on Twitch. And I'm sure that Eagle would be down for that too. You know what I mean? You just gotta hit him up. I'll let him know, obviously. I'll hit him in a DM right now and be like, yo, people are wondering, you know, what's good, wabbledy dabbledy. and see what he says. But Twitter, Discord, just hit us up. Boba Fettuccine. Jackals is like a gangsta meets Ninja Scroll, or like a Cowboy Bebop meets Basilisk? Holy shit, that's a lot to take in. Hold on. It's a brawling manga with a corrupted city and strong fighters. That's fucking awesome. Oh my god. Is this done? Is it ongoing? Anyways, I think the ultimate difference between news stories out of Japan and news stories out of the West is that Japanese creators are given much more freedom in their personal projects. Sounds good. I mean, I don't know nearly as much about the manga industry as I do about the comic book industry, but there definitely is, you know, like a wall of editors and editors-in-chief and other, you know, high-ranking officials that definitely do have to sign off on certain ideas that at least, you know, creators inside of the big two, Marvel and DC companies, you know, like if you're going to be taking on a Spider-Man or you're going to be taking on a Batman, it's like you got to have a plan, and it's got to make sense to everyone in the room, or the vast majority of everyone in the room, or else it's not going to happen. And that makes sense for these characters that have these long-running mythoses, or these long-running publication histories, and people have come to understand these characters, you know, a great deal. You know what I mean? So it's like if you want to come out the woodwork and do something wacky that's never been seen before, it's like we gotta put that under a microscope and see if that actually makes sense or not before we make drastic changes to these, you know, 100-year-old characters, you know what I mean? But over on the manga side of things, it's all like indie creator-owned kind of approach to things, where a mangaka will have an idea that fits, you know, that fits the philosophy or whatever of the magazine. And then they kind of just, you know, get to do whatever they want with the help of their editor and whatnot. But yes, it is like all entirely their idea, and they can come out with something entirely new that no one's ever seen before, and it works a lot easier like that. But I mean, like, that's also the same kind of situation as indie comics over in the West. If you go over to like an Image or a Boom Studios or like an IDW, you know what I mean? IDW, not as much, because they kind of like deal in like nostalgic, you know, well-known franchises and IPs like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers and shit like that. But like specifically like Image Comics, for example, you know, you can literally do whatever the fuck you want there, and no one's going to tell you like whatever. I mean, maybe you might have to go through you know, some kind of higher up that'll let you know that your idea is like bad or something. But like, I don't even think they really beyond that anymore. Like after Robert Kirkman came out with The Walking Dead, I think they kind of just said, do whatever the fuck you want. That's our and that's like their whole thing. I remember not Will Portacio, but oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Something Valentino. Oh my god, I gotta look it up. Because I sound like I don't make any sense at all right now, and I have to make sense. Image Comics founders. Jim Valentino. Jesus fucking Christ. So Robert Kirkman went to Jim Valentino and was like, I got an idea for a zombie book, and he pitched him The Walking Dead. And Jim Valentino said, nobody cares about zombie books. You're not doing that one. And then he was like, oh, but I didn't tell you that the zombie premise is just a front, and this is actually an alien invasion story, and the zombies just come first, and I'll be leaving breadcrumbs and foreshadowing and all of this stuff leading into this huge, you know, reveal that it's actually aliens and not zombies. And so Jim Valentino was like, oh, well, yeah, do that then. And then The Walking Dead started, and then like 6 chapters in, you know, one of the other editors was like, yeah, there isn't really an alien thing in this series, is there? And Kirkman was like, no, I lied so that you guys would let me make my fucking book. And then I think after that, they were just like, okay, everybody's ideas are, you know, just do whatever the fuck you want, you know what I mean, or whatever. So I think that's like more so how it goes. So like on the indie side of things in the West, you do get a lot more creative freedom, obviously, than like trying to take on, you know, an 80, 60, 80, 100-year-old character and trying to make changes to them. So that makes sense, but yeah. And it's honestly crazy because like the way that like Weekly Shonen Jump, for example, it's like, okay, so over in the West you have these IPs, Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, Superman, etc., etc. They belong to the company. They belong to DC. They belong to Marvel. And then creators come in because they want to, you know, give their take on those characters that belong to the company. And that makes sense or whatever. But then in the West, the indie situation is all creator owned. It's your idea. You get all the money for it. You own it. Blah 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 blah. And there's no like corporate, you know, like backlash as far as like what you're doing with our IPs or whatever, because they don't have any IPs. Everyone owns their own shit. But then over in like Weekly Shonen Jump, it's like that same kind of like Image, you know, indie Western comic kind of situation where everything is like creator owned ish. You know what I mean? Like, it's their idea. It's these creators' idea. They came up with it. They're not taking an IP that already belongs to a corporate entity and giving their own take on it. They're making up their own universes. But it's still kind of like structured as Weekly Shonen Jump owns your shit. So it's like a Marvel or a DC as far as the publication, you know, and legal situation goes. But it's like indie creator-owned ideas. It's a very weird situation. I need to do more research on it. I need to look more into it, but Boba Fettuccine, I'm open to comics, manhwa, and all kinds of new graphic novels. I've really enjoyed the Omega Rangers comics, TMNT, kick ass, but I haven't found much of anything like my manga. I feel you on that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is fucking incredible, and I'm so happy that you said that. I heard that Power Rangers is really good too. If you need any Western comic book recs, holla at Chiguala. Like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you need something that feels like manga, you know, or is a good transition from manga to the West, I have like a fucking litany of indie comic titles that you will fuck with just as much as TMNT, Kick-Ass, and anything else that you listed. The stuff with Charles and Jujutsu Kaisen explored the restrictions that manga authors have to deal with, and Gege put up the mythos problem too. Maybe not a Spider-Man myth, but Japanese folklore, etc. Ah, sure. But that I feel like that kind of shit's like all public domain though at the end of the day. So like if you're pulling from like Shintoism or like some other area of like ancient Japanese folklore, I feel like they can't hate on you as much for that as they could, you know, over at a Marvel or a DC when you're trying to make changes to, you know, one of the characters in their mythos or pantheon. You know what I mean? And yeah, Kirkman robbed them blind, Yato. He fucking got their ass, bro. I was like, that's so funny. And Jim Valentino tried to act like, you know, if Robert Kirkman would have just told me what his original plan was from the beginning, I would have let him do it. And it's like, it sounds like he did, and you said fuck no to zombie comics. So don't backpedal now just because the shit was mad successful and you were the barrier. You weren't gonna let that nigga cook, and you were gonna look crazy. Imagine if we didn't get The Walking Dead. Oh my God. Imagine if we didn't get The Walking Dead. Jesus Christ, I don't even want to think about that. I would like to get into the Flash or Green Lantern comics. They seem real cool. Fuck yeah. That's gonna be, you can hit up my homeboy Zach for Flash or Green Lantern Rex. He's definitely more on the DC side of things than I am, but you know, you do like if you want to get into the Flash, I don't know, you do like a Mark Waid, you do Mark Waid's run, I think is the first one you need. And then you got like Grant Morrison, you got Jeff Johns, you got Joshua Williamson. You got a lot of options for like really great, clouded, Western, award-winning Western writers that have been on The Flash. Green Lantern comics also have like a pretty easy way to get into them. Jeff Johns like did like an entire mythos overhaul back in Rebirth that just like completely re-envisioned the Green Lantern for everybody, and that's like the quintessential like Green Lantern run that you can do. But I mean, like at the end of the day, I am just not as, you know, knowledgeable, you know, about DC comics or care enough about them to really go hard on DC comic recs. But I have plenty of friends that can help you out with that. Just let me know. Swamp Thing is very important. Absolutely, Jody. Let them know. Swamp Thing by Alan Moore is actual peak fiction. Like everybody that enjoys fiction should read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, and that's all that I really need to say about it. John Totalbin art, Steve Bissett, I think was the inker or something like that. Like the creative team is insane. And if you look up like, you know, interviews with like Alan Moore and the creative team for Swamp Thing, like they talk about how it was like lightning in a bottle. Like for somehow everybody was just in sync and had the same passion for the exact same vision and created a literal masterpiece of art inside of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. So everybody read that if they haven't already. How long is the Swamp Thing run, and do I gotta read other character runs? Absolutely not. You can just jump right into Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, and it's only 6 volumes. What are some of the better X-Men comics? Well, you got one guy that's like the Artur you know, of X-Men. He didn't create them, but like he is like the reason why they are as popular as they are today, and that's Chris Claremont. And you can read his 17-year run on the title that gave us all of the stories that have been adapted in literally any form of X-Men media outside of the comics, like Days of Future Past, the Phoenix Saga, the Brood Saga, fucking all of that shit, Legion. Like all of that shit comes from Proteus. All of that shit comes from Chris Claremont. He was on the book for 17 years. No other comic book creator has done what Chris Claremont did for the X-Men to any other IP. That is the place to start. If you need a more modern starting point for the X-Men, Jonathan Hickman, another one of my favorite writers of all time, probably my favorite comic book writer alive today. Jonathan Hickman just did like an entire Mythos relaunch on the X-Men back in like 2016 or 2017 or something like that. So you can literally just start right there. No prior reading required. He gives you the context on everything important that came before organically throughout the run. You can start from his shit and just keep going. And there's a reading order that you can Google very easily. Grab the Comic Book Herald link and start your X-Men journey. If you need a more contemporary starting point, then Jonathan Hickman is the way to go on that. Otherwise, go all the way back to Chris Claremont and read that whole 17-year epic, because it's some of the best comic book storytelling you'll ever see. Sean Whetstone, that's why you gotta look for comics outside of Marvel and DC. I've been reading Sex Criminals and loving it. Fuck yeah. I'm so happy that you're reading Sex Criminals. Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction, dynamic duo, man. Holy shit. What a comic. Sex Criminals is such a good idea. It's one of those, like, you know, it feels like a manga idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get superpowers when you have sex. When you hook up with someone, superpowers activate. That sounds Japanese as shit. That's exactly why I'm excited about movements like Webtoon with all these fan fictions. Fan fictions are the main hero stories in the West anyways. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely bad superhero comic books. I'm not going to say that there's not, but trying to say that that superhero comics are fan fiction nowadays is just like not true. But the really bad ones are the ones that get talked about by the most people. So I understand why, you know, like you would think that, but that's just not the way it is. It's way easier to shit on something than to praise it, I want to say. At least where we are now in this information age of social media. Everybody's got a hot take, and the hot takes get the most attention because people are addicted to drama. The only issue that creates is that people think that those hot takes are like what the industry actually is, because that's all people want to talk about because they're addicted to drama. So it gets really muddy. It gets really muddy in that way. Marvel and stuff are spinning their gears because they're locked in the eternal cycle of status quo and advancement. Absolutely, the status quo problem is a very serious thing in the Western Big Two area of comic books. Absolutely, Spider-Man and Batman are like probably the top two examples of why the status quo obsession is an issue. Spider-Man got married to Mary Jane in like 1975 or some shit. And ever since then, editorial at Marvel has been trying to find a way to break them up in a way that makes sense, because they feel like Spider-Man is more marketable and more relatable when he's a bachelor with like 6 hoes and an unstable life. It's like we need Spider-Man broke and horny. that'll resonate with the kids. People like that better. One more day. Go fuck yourself, Joe Quesada. Everything sucks. Everything except Samurai Pizza Cats. And you're all wrong. Thank you, Sam. Gotta let him know. Talk that talk. Samurai Pizza Cat's agenda is still going strong. It's a rubber band that you can only pull so far before it snaps back and knocks you on your ass. Arse. Yeah, you're totally right, V. You're totally right. The status quo really kills Marvel. I totally agree. I'm still mad they got rid of the Superior Spider-Man, the second run of Superior Spider-Man, sure. I'm not like really up to date on like anything in the big two right now. I mean, like I'm trying. Like there was like a couple of months where I was like, I'm getting caught up on Daredevil, Spider-Man, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. And I never got caught up on any of them. I am still making my way through them to get caught up. But Dan Slott's Superior Spider-Man run, like just Dan Slott's run in general, from Big Time to the end of Superior, was good, I think. A lot of people don't like Dan Slott. A lot of people don't like Dan Slott. He made a lot of really weird decisions, but he gave us Mr. Negative. He gave us Anti-Venom. He gave us that incredible comedy dynamic between the Punisher and Anti-Venom. Like, there's a lot of shit that he, like, really, like, slam dunked. And the Superior Spider-Man situation with Dr. Octopus taking over Peter's body was brilliant. And it did a lot for, I want to say, just the mythos of Spider-Man and the history of Spider-Man. That was a really good idea. I don't know about the second run of Superior Spider-Man. What is that, Nick Spencer? That would have to be Nick Spencer, right? Because I think he took it after Dan Slott. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not up to date, so I don't have an opinion on that. Christian Alvarez, have I read Red Storm? Are you talking to me? You're asking me that? I'm so happy that you're asking this and that you're bringing this up right now. I fucking love Red Storm. I think it's my favorite webtoon. I fucking love Red Storm. Oh my god. I've been talking about Red Storm a lot lately because I got my homeboy Zay reading it, and I've been going back through it with him again. And I haven't read the last arc of Red Storm. I was current in Red Storm, and then like we were moving into the final arc, and then like something I was like, the chapters aren't coming out quick enough. I need to let it cook. I'm just gonna binge the entire last arc whenever it finishes, and then it finished, and I haven't done it yet. But I'm going to soon because Zay is making his way through it, and we're kind of like reading it together at this point. But the New 52 Batman run was so visually stunning, to be honest. Like, that art style really pushed what it meant to be a Western superhero comic. Absolutely. Greg Capullo is a fucking god of comic book art. Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder were like an incredible combination for the New 52 Batman stuff, because it's like they were two sides of the same coin. Like, Scott Snyder is a very horror-centric fiction writer. He loves his horror. He's like a huge Stephen King fan. They're actually really good friends, and I'm pretty sure they collab on shit. So like him being like really big into the horror aspect of fiction, or the horror area of fiction, and then Greg Capullo having very horrific, you know, very wild, crazy, spooky art on top of that is just a slam dunk. It's lightning in a bottle. Knox, have you read One Punch Man? Absolutely. I was reading One Punch Man back in like 2012, and there was like fucking, I think I found it when there was like less than 20 chapters or some shit. Before the Boros shit. I was reading the Boros arc weekly. Or monthly, or whatever the fuck it was. I was reading the Boros shit as it was coming out. I think there were less than 5 chapters of One Punch Man when I found it. Red Storm is probably my favorite webtoon as well. Have you heard of Peerless Dad? Yeah, that's like the prequel or whatever with, talks about Naoya or Nosa or whatever before he came to the Red Storm Oasis world. Yeah. I haven't read it, but I know about it, absolutely. The first run of Superior was Dan Slott, and the second short run was done by Chris Yost? I fucking love Chris Yost. Oh my god, his X-Force run, incredible. His little Psylocke miniseries was gas. Chris Yost is good shit. I didn't know that Yost did Superior Spider-Man. I could have sworn that I guess Nick Spencer was on like, you know, Amazing or whatever, and then he could have done, you know, whatever on the side. Yeah. I taught their typesetter, but he didn't learn much. LMAO. The typesetter for who? For Red Storm? Damn, V, you've been everywhere. Oh my god. That's fucking awesome. All right, see you, Sam. One of y'all read volume 1 of Neon Keys and then holla at your girl. I'll do that. I'll do that in stream with you. Date and time, let me know. Good to see you though. Thanks for pulling up. Woo! All right, it's getting hot in here. It's 8:30. Well, it's 8:20. Was it the red? Oh, the One Punch Man guy. Okay. But still, like even for One Punch Man, like you've been everywhere. That's crazy. That's fucking awesome. But all right, I'm hot. I want to turn on my AC. I want to get ready for this special grade review. Just to one more time, for the sake of just rounding the conversation off, Aliens Area is going to be added to our YouTube Weekly Shonen Jump manga review roster. Aliens Area will be reviewed on the very next episode of the Project Manga podcast. Chainsaw Man is coming to Project Manga, but on the Patreon show, because it's a Jump Plus title that won't be updating on Sundays along with everything else. So it just makes the most sense for it to go there. Our special grade podcast went from $15 down to $10 per month. And all of the other perks inside of that tier, obviously, not just the special grade podcast, but everything that we have to offer, is now $10 a month. And if you want to go the extra mile and maybe potentially, expand your physical manga collection, we now have the Will of D tier that you can sign up for $15 a month. And then we'll do a raffle inside of the current members of that tier each month to give away one free manga every month. And there will be a special area of the Discord where we can all come together and discuss what would be the best manga to give away in the raffle. So consider that as well. But yeah, all right, I'm out of here. I hope that was entertaining. I hope it was informative. I hope I answered any questions that you guys might have had. We had a great conversation about Western comic books. That was awesome. I never get to do that on camera. So thank you for expressing you guys' interest in Western comics and just talking to me about them. But you guys know where to find me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Discord. Join our Discord. I'll make sure that all the links work or whatever for the VOD for people who showed up late and want to watch it later or whatever. But yeah, click on all of our links, man. See what we got going on. Your support means the world to us. We literally could not do as much as we do without the support that you guys give us. Not just on YouTube, but also over on Patreon as well. But yeah, love you. You guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you online. Peace.